Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frank Donga, and you're listening to Boom Radio. Boom Radio. Keep listening. Don't touch it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is BoomBar right here on your Boom Radio, and I bid you a warm welcome. It is promises to be a very interesting one today. Today is wonderful. We're going to be talking about a lot of things today. If you're just joining us for the very first time, this is where we give you all the gist about sports, entertainment, politics, and everything else in between. Everything else in between can be anything else in between. So sit back, relax, and let's get into today's show. But I'm going to be on the show today with Sola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's been a minute, and we'd like to apologize. Been working on some outdoor projects and stuff, but it's always a pleasure to be back at the bar, and we pray that you will be with us all through.
Okay, so we're going right into today's show today. And straight up, we're going to be talking about a few things. Some of the headlines is the gist about Mr. Bobrisky according to the court, Mr. Bobrisky, VeryDarkMan, the gist with the Falanos, House of Reps, EFCC,
Excuse me,
Correctional Service, and a few others. Also, President Tinubu has sworn in the new CJN. She definitely had a few things. A few people had a few complaints about some things, but I'm guessing all that is sorted now. Anyway, we'll get to that. Also, tomorrow is October 1st, so there's the gist about a few protests here and there, and some people canceling protests, and the usual. So it's not out of place to see all these things, but we'll definitely get right into it. So let's go into it as usual, and we're definitely starting from the issue of Bobrisky, VeryDarkMan files and his family, the House of Assembly, the House of Reps, the prison service, EFCC, and a lot of allegations flying around. So for people that do not know, you might be wondering where this conversation started from. And it started where there was a video that was posted by VeryDarkMan where he had announced, or he had put out the video saying that, accusing Bobrisky, who just came out of prison, of really not being in prison. And I'm sure a few people were actually surprised of him not in prison, and the audios was more of him bragging about how he had a godfather that did not allow him stay in prison, and blah 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 and all that. Now, of course, that now ruffled a bit of feathers, because there was also a part where there were also allegations where the person of Bobrisky was also said to have asked, to have bribed EFCC officials so that some charges against him would be dropped. Now, that's a lot of allegations. Interestingly, we saw how about a couple of people in the prison service in Kekere-Ekun Medium Prison had been immediately suspended by the minister. That the minister had put that stuff out there, and a lot of people got suspended immediately. For interesting thing is that we don't see those kind of things happen a lot of times, but there's still no suspension that happened in the EFCC. Anyway, next, that was a statement from Fowles, who is a popular person who had also, I think he had put out a statement talking about how there was a phone call between him and Bobrisky asking for, saying that they want to. Okay.
I think what got the Falanas involved was the fact that they're involved in the Bobrisky case. Their dads, right?
Yes.
And somewhere along the line, of course, Fowles' name was mentioned by the alleged Bobrisky recording. And the thing is, we should even go further back to the story behind the recording. Because according to VeryDarkMan, the audio was obtained by someone who had lent Bobrisky money. And Bobrisky
had refused to pay.
Had refused to pay 4 million naira or something like that, allegedly. Now, the problem there is the man, in thinking that, look, it's a risk he was taking.
Oh, okay. So BT616 says, good morning. Good afternoon morning. From here, sir.
Good morning. So the thing is that the guy had tried to indemnify himself and maybe look for some kind of collateral, which was in recording his conversation. Now, to get his money back. Not necessarily to expose any form of corruption or anything. Mm-hmm. But according to that guy, as relayed by VeryDarkMan, the recording now more or less was centered on the reason why he needed to borrow money. Again, one of the things that makes me laugh is how Bobrisky is always flaunting his wealth, in quotes, claims to live in an eyebrow part of Lagos, like he in an estate, a gated estate, where we have an idea of the cost of buying a property or putting up a property there. We actually have first-hand experience in that one. Then you have to borrow 4 million naira.
Yeah, big boy now.
It does not make sense.
Big girl, as the case may be.
Now, that's how that recording came by, according to the person who put out the recording. For me, people should take that recording in its entirety and break it down. Because when a problem is about to be solved, that's when the light is shown on it. We have heard of cases of dubious arrangements in the prisons or correctional systems in Nigeria. Let's forget about outside Nigeria, where we don't know much about, apart from the movies. But in Nigeria, you always hear those stories, and several people have told us how... we even ran into a man the other day at the Amala place talking about how he was arrested wrongfully and spent 2 years or something before he was let go of. So we've heard about those things. We also remember, case in point, how correctional service officers were fighting law enforcement in court for...
Yeah, because they wanted a particular person in...
There was a particular governor of a bank that they wanted to take into possession.
You would think it was a hotel.
That the leader of the correctional center had to be the one to come and escort this VIP. What a country. So, we've heard about those stories. And I think those are the places where we should focus on. However, this is not to give VDM or VeryDarkMan a pass. It needs to be guided by the law in its utterances.
Yeah.
You know that obviously that there have been some kind of improvements in some of the things he says. Maybe he's consulting lawyers here and there, or they're calling him and advising him. But still need to be careful with the utterances so that it doesn't, box himself into a very terrible corner where in the process of trying to highlight the wrong, you're also doing wrong. You get? That's my only thing for him. But the other parts of everything he has done, I think is on point. And that we should focus on how, for instance, there's a recording that claims that Bobrisky said in that recording, which we have all listened to. And for those of you who haven't listened, you are listening to us talking about it. There's a recording where a man is saying that they were going to drop a certain case if he paid a certain amount.
Yeah.
Strangely, if you look back, those charges were dropped.
Those charges were actually dropped. Exactly. Those charges were actually dropped.
This is the crux of the matter. those charges were actually dropped.
Those charges definitely were dropped.
So,
you know, for me,
yeah.
The issue with this whole matter is that we need to realize that there are definitely issues in our system. And for whoever said it or whatever it is, it might be the turning point that some agencies, that some systems need. Nobody, I won't say nobody, a few people have said here and there how a lot of things go on with the EFCC. A lot of people have things to say. In fact, I saw a video of a social media influencer talking about when she was in jail, how she was living like a VIP. I'm like, does this lady know that she is, what she's saying could land her in trouble? However, those are systems that are not right. I would have thought to a large extent that the EFCC, especially with the way the chairman of the EFCC goes on, there will be a conversation or a statement from the EFCC. I would like to put a bit of kudos. It could so that to save face, what the minister had done, because you never hear anybody getting suspended when investigations are going on in Nigeria. It never happens. It was a first. And I'm like, okay, maybe we're getting somewhere finally in this country. Do you understand? There may be something that we're finally doing right. So, okay, so BT616 says, we're still waiting for the part 2 of the recording. By the way, did you guys listen to the Burna Boy Diddy audio leak? I hope it's not real. No one have burned, they wear high heels and women clothes. Oh my God. Okay.
the part 2, I saw a video by VeryDarkMan where, of course, he was responding to being sued by Bobrisky. Bobrisky has sued him for 1 billion naira. Again, I ask, like I always ask about the former governor of Kogi and the governor of Rivers, the current one, who is advising you? Now you sued the man for 1 billion. And the guy responded, he said, you know what? You think I'm going to drop part 2? I won't drop part 2. Let's meet in court.
Okay.
Then, after suing him for 1 billion, you delete the post.
You delete the post. Is it that you didn't think of it really and well?
Why would you do that?
So, first things first, BT616, I honestly, I do not know about the Burna Boy Diddy thing. Except those things can be substantiated. At times, one should probably just take some of these things with a pinch of salt. However, with this particular one, what I would even say that, or who actually kind of substantiated this recording, because according to Bobrisky, he's saying that the audio is AI generated and is not him and all that. However, the statement that Fowles had already put out, to a large extent, I think already makes it obvious that that video or that audio is real. And I'm like, okay, when I saw it, I'm like, I thought Fowles was supposed to be a lawyer. Like, why did you have to, do you understand? Why did you have to do some of these things? And now this has now opened a can of worms. There's now the angle where people are alleging that the Femi Falana is not really all that much of a human rights activist as he claims. There's also the conversation about him asking them to get money from Lagos State, how Lagos State was offering them money. So that this has opened up a lot of conversation, and there needs to be a lot of investigation into this. Chief Onikoko says, Ajekula no omokuleni oro. Okay, Ajekula no omokuleni ni
Ajekela no is what they usually say now.
Okay, Ajekela, yeah. Anyway, Ajekela no omokuleni ni oro Burna Boy ati Oluwadidi. Welcome back, guys. Thank you very much, sir.
This matter is not going anywhere.
All this matter is definitely not going anywhere. So, like I said, the matter is, we can't substantiate it yet. However, it's not going to be funny. Personally, I don't think it's going to be funny. Now, going back to the gist, and I think that maybe, like I said earlier, maybe it's time some of these agencies, there's a lot of things that has been going wrong. Maybe this is the time for the turnaround. There's a lot that needs to pop up, because now there's supposed to be a hearing at the House of Representatives today. There's a video out there already of VeryDarkMan. He was invited, him getting to the House of Assembly complex, National Assembly complex today already. Now, journalists were barred from this hearing. And I'm like, why? Is it that they know that this guy is going to say something that is going to put some people in trouble? Do you understand? And all that. And on the long run, I think it's a good thing, though. I actually think it's a good thing. Maybe it's time that a lot of ills need to be brought to the fore.
Anyways, the National Assembly, at least the House of Reps, is on this matter as we speak. The kind of things that we want to hear, is for Bobrisky to confirm that, yes, he actually spent time in prison and not in a special facility. And know that he did not bribe anybody to drop the case, some of the charges against him. The kind of things we want to hear is that all those names that were mentioned were not involved. Or maybe we're waiting to hear that they were involved and it's time for them to pay. Yeah. No matter what happens, Nigeria first for me. And it's time, it's really time to put your light on these agencies that have been mentioned. For many years, we keep papering over the cracks, just overlooking it and all of that. But for how long? How long are we going to continue fooling ourselves, acting like everything
is fine? Exactly.
When
we hear all these gists. Do you understand? We hear all these gists.
For the Burna Boy PDD talk that's really gaining a lot of momentum and ground, especially on social media. It is, for me, now personally, maybe as a biased Nigerian, just hoping that there's no substance to it. That's me, hoping and praying.
I think Diddy's get better now. They say that he's off the suicide
watch. Yeah, it's off suicide watch, like they say. But the thing is, now it is in some kind of a spiral, some kind of free fall.
Yeah, because
and there are all sorts of conspiracy theories
and stories.
All sorts of stories. Oh, that he has dirt on some former president and his wife. He has dirt on some judges and some police chiefs and all of that. Now in America, if anybody resigns for whatever reason, they'll say it's because of Diddy. There's an academic that has put in his letter to leave in 2025.
But it's because of Diddy.
They said it's because of Diddy.
It's interesting.
So a bit of caution on our part also. But personally, I just hope that if he has committed any crime, he should pay for it. And I really pray that none of our boys are involved.
I really hope so.
And girls too.
I think that it's going to cast a lot of aspersions on the, what do we call it now? The leaps and bounds that Nigerian music has gained in the past couple of years. Is going to cast a shadow on it and all that. So for that reason, personally, I really, really am hoping that it's not true. So BT616 says, just picture Brenna asking to be, you know what? And Diddy saying, yes, take the pain, take it all. I need to clean my ear. Oh my God. Why are you people like this? Why are you people like this? Really and truly, like I said, for the sake of Nigerian music, I really am hoping that it was actually it's just gist. Let's just put it like that. I really am hoping that it's just gist.
I mean, it's not sake of for the sake of Burna Boy's career. His career is not Nigerian music. I think you are being too melodramatic. How is it for the sake of Nigerian music?
It's going to cause a lot of aspersions, and it's cast a lot of aspersions. And now the story,
and it's not as if it's culpable, but it's not on Nigerian music. Did Ashake go to this party?
There's a video of Fowls and Diddy where they were all nice and mushy.
People go to parties.
Okay.
That doesn't have anything to do with the Nigerian industry.
Okay, so yeah, Chief Odikoko says, by the way, Wizkid also visited Diddy for the Ciroc deal. He spent the night there. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get my point?
Yeah.
That there is a lot more. What's it called? If I remember very well, I think that Ciroc deal. I think it was even Olamide that started with the Ciroc deal or something at a point.
I'm not sure.
There are quite a number of people that I'm just saying though.
They're not saying anything.
Anyway, moving on from that, President Tinubu has officially sworn in CJN Justice Kekere-Ekun, Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, and her emergence. Definitely, we had called it at the bar that it was going to cause a bit of rancor, and then everybody now started picking on, in my opinion, let me just put it, in my opinion, very unnecessary things that had always been like that for years, but people decided to realize, and people that knew the law, and the ones that not know the law, and people that went to law school true, but they've not practiced law in years, decided that they were going to interpret the law. However, she's now the CJN. I think everybody can now go and rest.
It's a done deal.
Exactly.
Well, she becomes the second woman, in the history of Nigeria to attain that role. And it was nice that a couple of the immediate past, presidents of the court and all, they were there in attendance. And for gender, activists, this should be some kind of good moment.
Something to celebrate, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
That this has been done again, and hopefully it doesn't become a big deal that a woman will get to the peak of her career, because this is the highest that you can attain as a legal luminary, that this is the highest level. Now, beyond that, she has powers to restructure things and, maybe redirect the Nigerian judiciary in a different way and make things get better. I hope she has the verve and the drive to do that before she leaves in a few years' time. God sparing all our lives. But I'm basically happy that we have another woman at the helm of affairs, and I'm hoping that during our term, there'll be some landmark moves that will make the judiciary better.
Okay, so just wanted to put this out there. The federal government has donated 64 100-seater CNG buses to labor unions and NANS for commuter service. So BT616 says, Sola, the only position that will help women in Nigeria significantly is the presidency.
I'm nodding in agreement to that. If we can get our women a chance, if we can...
Let's even start from governorship positions.
If we can make it happen, isn't it sad? The only women that have come close to becoming governors, not deputy governors, they've all never made it eventually.
Yeah, so there's never been a female
from the
governor.
Fintiri that was prematurely announced and of course didn't win, to the other woman.
So I think Pauline Talon, then there's never been a female governor in Nigeria, talk less of president. Do I think that?
But it would be nice.
It would.
And there are quite a few Nigerian women. They're plenty.
I think we'll get there eventually. Yes, I think they will.
Smart.
Do I think the system would allow a female president as of now? I don't think so.
They're plenty, but the only problem with me at the scene that I see is how then they play the politics. Now, if you look at it now, it is beyond popularity.
Oh, it definitely is
beyond popularity. There's a whole lot of stuff.
The honest truth is that for Justice Kekere-Ekun, and this is me this is the kind of thing that I like to see. It's not about her being a woman. That was why she got the position. She was the next in line. So it was her paying her dues, doing the due diligence to get to where she is. So it's not as much as, yes, at this point, maybe more women should get in line, do the work, give opportunities to more women to do the work, get into the judicial system. But nobody can come out and say that she was given just because she's a woman.
Yeah.
That's it.
And on the flip side, still on that side, not even the flip side, if you go further back, historically, I think men have put too many barriers in place for women to thrive in this world. Funny thing is, in my opinion, I believe that women are more powerful. A lot of women are in charge of a lot of things, especially the powerful men, honestly. But I still don't know how a group of men will still sit down and suppress and hold women back. But it is there. For instance, if you go by the succession plans for royal houses, apart from maybe the British system and maybe one or two other monarchies, the monarchies in Africa, they don't have any. They don't do respect for women.
In fact, it's as bad as, it's not just about being a woman not being king. A woman cannot even, in most places, especially at least the one that I know in Southwest, you can't even have a mother that is a princess and her child that is a son will be in line to the king.
You know? In some of the monarchies that we have, and some that allow regents. They are regents.
No, they don't. They're just regents. They just stay there as regents, and they're not.
Then after a while.
Yeah, and then they just leave. Anyway.
And I think that's what is now translated to the modern day suppression that women get to go through. Just picture where you have women succeeding women in the monarchy.
We'll see where all that is going to go to. Also, just wanted to put it out there, the federal government also sent flood alerts as there's talks of a 3-day rain and thunderstorm to hit Nigeria from today.
If you check out the flooding, I was watching videos of flooding in America a couple of hours ago on TV. I was watching it on TV. And you look at flooding in some parts of Southeast Asia and all that, and you just come to the conclusion that mankind needs a collective effort to tackle flooding.
Hold on. So BT616, that's not true, Sola. Women can be kings in Yoruba land. As a matter of fact, Ijebu has had 3 female kings, not regents, in their history. Yeah, we actually talked about it. We said, but it's very few.
I said in most monarchies. I like your input, and I take that correction. I'm just saying that's why I use the word most monarchies, because virtually every monarchy that I know do not allow women. They don't even get a look in to become the ultimate chief, like the king and all of that. I respect the fact that there's always, especially when you watch the epic movies or the Yoruba setting movies, there's always there's at least one woman in the council.
An exception, yeah.
There's always one woman in the council.
Yeah.
There's always the
Iyalode.
Some will have 2, Iyaloja and Iyalode and all of that. But most times, it's men all through. It's men all through. And I'm saying that must have affected us too. Because if you look at it, in some places, they still tell you that women should only be heard and not seen.
Yep.
And it didn't happen overnight. It's something that has been passed down from generation to generation. So I'm happy. To be honest, I didn't know that history about Ijebu, that they've had 3 female kings. And I didn't know it. It's good education. It's something that one has to look up and read and learn more about. And maybe all these guys that are making all these epic movies now should do something about
those ones as well.
The woman king in southwest Nigeria, and maybe even other parts of Nigeria. I know that there used to be a popular, there was this calendar that used to be reproduced almost year in, year out. And there was a part where one of the pages is dedicated to Queen Amina. Mm-hmm. You get. So maybe they had allowed it at some point and all of that. Maybe they had. But hey, bottom line still is that it would be nice to have a world where you're not limited because of your gender.
Because of your gender.
But based on your strengths or lack of, roles can be assigned. But hey.
Okay, so Shifo Nikoko says Iyalode, Iyaloja is your CBN, Commerce, Financial and Internal Ministry. And they always control the market, movement of goods and services.
Yeah. And you know that they've always been powerful women, especially the role of the Iyalode. I know one of the most popular ones, Bisoye Tejosho, she even cuts that image of a very powerful woman and all of that. And there's several like that. Then later we started creating different titles and roles.
Yeah.
But those really core ones, the Iyalode and the Iyaloja, are very powerful chiefs.
Okay, now moving on from that quickly. So we're talking about the floods. So basically, people need to be careful. Looks like floods are coming. The floods are definitely coming.
So I was saying that from what I see, flooding is not limited to one side of the world.
Oh yeah.
No matter how advanced your country is, there are flooding issues around you.
Oh, there are a lot of flooding
flash
issues.
Flooding and all of that.
Interestingly, a lot actually at the moment.
So
Nepal, there's talks of about 193 people actually being killed already. In the US from Storm Helen, there's been talks of about 93 people being dead already on that as well. So it's
so
what
I'm advocating for, what I'm saying is that the way we have this national global conference on security, the way we have this global conference on food security and all of that, it's time to do something in the line of natural disasters also, because if the saner climes and the more advanced countries are also experiencing flooding issues, what is the hope for?
It's interesting,
for the insane climb, Abby.
you look at
the not so sane
climb. Interestingly, we see these things happen, and I know a lot of people came for Lagos State, and that they're destroying a lot of people's houses and all that. Anybody that followed the news and saw last week the devastation that has been happening in Ibadan, in Oyo State, and then you will see the reasons why some of these things are needed.
The most shocking one for me is that Joyce B area,
But if you think about it, can you really think of some major drainage in that area?
And there's a part of it that's like a valley-ish kind of place.
Is there any drainage there?
But it's actually still shocking because the couple of years that I spent in Ibadan, even with all the heavy rain, it never happened. So what I'm trying to say is that maybe things got worse.
Yeah, water levels are rising now.
Beyond water levels, even the existing channels, are they being desilted?
Exactly.
Are they being cleared? Are they being maintained?
It's a lot, and things need to be done
quickly.
I think I read news, was it yesterday, that about 2 people that are missing in floods in Ibadan. It's not, once or twice you hear about floods in Ibadan, but it's not something you hear all the time. Do you understand? It's always Lagos this, Lagos that. So please, people need to be careful at this point.
I'm talking about being careful. Those of you in line of the Ogun River.
So BT616 says, Shola, that's not the issue. Just like California and Japan, the building codes reflect the reality of earthquakes. Does the Niger code mandate building to within floods and storms? That's also a very, very
good question. Do I know if that code exists for Nigerian buildings? No. I know that there's always a plan, and government is always referring to not building in floodplains. For instance, there's an existing law that says that you cannot build 100 meters close to a river bank. Just take a trip to somewhere around Ikosi, Sherry, Axis, and along Akute and all those places where the Ogun River flows.
So people are almost in the water.
People are living,
they are in the water.
They are building on the banks. So again, those setbacks are important. The wetlands and the floodplains are there. Then people are actually just going there and building. They're building houses there. And there's going to be a problem when you get flooded and if you start shouting, government help us. So government will not be able to ignore you, especially based on the media hype and the attention and the social media buzz, and they have to step in, knowing that, oh, you're a citizen, you deserve. But again, were we not supposed to be careful about building in those places?
Those places.
But I get what you say about that one, but even the basic ones that they tell you, in places that are not even flood prone, because of the future expansion of roads, they tell you setback is 50 meters. How many people observe it? It is on that same setback on your fence that you build a shop.
You know, it's interesting how we're always accusing the government, and then when these things happen, like what's the government doing that they allowed this thing fester to this point? Which I think that it's a valid argument.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, when do we decide to start doing the right thing, regardless
Like all the time, just
of
get used to
anybody
doing the right thing.
telling you what to do?
Yeah.
What happened to, because it might sound like I'm not insulting anybody. However, when they say that you do something and then they have to point it out to you all the time, that's goat-like behavior. I'm being honest here. When do we actually start doing the right thing at the right time? Why do you have to be told to know that, okay, you need to go and check, you want to buy a land, go and check what is on the land. Are you supposed to build on it? Do you not?
There was a
There
part
are
of
reasons for those laws.
There's a
and
part of
those plans.
Surulere. There's a part of Surulere. Surulere axis is not far. It's not far from the Lagos Anglican Girls Grammar School. There's a place called Odejari. There's a canal or water channel close to it, and whenever that area gets flooded, the bulk of the materials you see in it were styrofoams. Have people noticed that Lagos is looking better now? That they banned the use of styrofoams.
Oh yeah.
Have you noticed it?
You don't have those heavy...
You don't see them on the roads anymore. You don't see them in the gutters
because it's always
anymore.
like the bulk of the waste.
It's the bulk because
see.
Again, the bulk of the people who use them just dump them in the gutters. They just dump them on the street. And again, because you don't want to pay the PSP Loma people X amount, you dump your trash in the...
Oh, that still happens.
It's coming back to bite you. It's coming back to bite you because it's going to get blocked somewhere. You know that there's this thing that people do in Nigeria where they get some kind of metal gauze and put it in the gutter.
Yeah.
To stop waste from flowing in front of their houses.
Yeah.
That thing usually will send feedback to wherever it's coming from. These are a lot of things that happen that I think shouldn't happen if you were not dumping things in the gutter in the first place.
And you know that, yeah, because
then
you wouldn't
the
need
ones
a
that
metal...
even desilt, when you desilt, you don't pack it.
You just put
it flows back into it's on the side of the gutter or the road,
and then
it flows back in.
Do you get? That's what I'm saying. Like, do you have to be told every time to do the right thing?
I don't know. I like that talk about looking at what the building code says and all of that. It's important.
Anyway, we'll see. Basically, people just at this point, people please need to be careful. If you know you live around floodplains, the waters are coming. It started from the Lagdo Dam. Now the Onyo Dam too is open. The waters are
a lot.
coming.
Because when it rains now, it rains as if it's going out of fashion. 1 hour of rain and everywhere is flooded.
BT616 says, enforce the law without looking at Uche's face. Lagos government is scared of being labeled tribalist. Sola, Dolupo, we all know they know what to do. I don't totally agree with you, sir. And why I said so is that whether we like it or not, yes, they might not be doing too much. But I think in the last couple of months, Lagos State has they've ramped up a lot of their compliance.
And enforcement on environmental issues.
Yeah.
From noise pollution to, waste disposal.
Yes, I agree.
And all of
yeah,
that.
I think that they've gotten better.
If you're driving into Lagos from Ogun State now, and you look into the median on the Ogun State side of the federal road, there's defecation and all sorts
of things.
But as soon as you cross that bridge in Lagos, the pedestrian bridge that is smack dab in the middle of Berger.
It's clean.
It's clean all the way.
Then people are being arrested, are getting arrested on a daily.
So enforcement and everything. And that's why, again, you must be in sync with your neighbors. If it means helping them create such structures for Ogun State too, so that they can also pick up from there.
Yeah, this is a call to Ogun State,
way,
please. That's Berger Road, the part of your own. it would be nice to
It
clean
needs
it.
attention. And again, the people who designed that road, where is the sense in concretizing the median?
And they turned that place to a bowl. Anyway, Chief Onikogo says, I'll believe you, Shola, when the marina actually starts looking like a business zone for humans.
Okay.
Ouch.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying there, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Now, moving on from that, tomorrow is October 1st. There is public holiday for...
Happy birthday, Nigeria.
Happy birthday. I think it's 64th anniversary of the independence, and there's public holiday for most people. I've been seeing pictures all over the internet of schools going all in their a lot of schools in their traditional attires to school, and a lot of children, and it's beautiful to see. It's not something that we did when we were in school. I don't know why, because if I remember, I still went to school in 2000, so I'm not that old. But
who is old? You could have said, I went to school in the 2000s without hiding I'm not that old.
I didn't say anything.
You could have just said it. You're not that old.
Okay. BT616 says Dolupo clearly doesn't care about my feelings. Trolling me about Ogun State. We have Bakamu. Just wait for the stand to end, I beg. It was not shots fired at you. However, if the bullet hit you, it was just a stray bullet. It wasn't
according to the kids on the street, they said straight bullet. I heard one guy say it one day. I said, he said straight bullet. Yeah, that straight bullet hit the guy. Straight bahu.
Just move on.
We know what, there was no need to explain. So this Dolupo fired a straight bullet.
Straight bullet.
Excuse me. Oh, God. So, yeah, that's what it is. We are happy that Nigeria is 64 years old. Is she where she ought to be? No. But I see Nigeria moving forward. I see a lot of things going, back to position. It will not happen overnight. It's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. But Nigeria is a country that I love so much, with so much passion. And I'm glad that Nigerian schools are now celebrating Nigeria like this.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, it never used to happen. Now it's like a thing.
They have the cultural day tied to Nigeria's Independence Day. It's a beautiful thing. Maybe that would spark off the orientation and reorientation that we have been talking about. For instance, my friend was talking about how at an airport somewhere in America, someone had a flag draped, an American flag draped, and it dropped while the person was running to meet the person that they went to welcome. And a young kid picked it up and dusted it off and took it to the person, like with a lot of love and respect. And I said, what are you trying to say? That I was just thinking that if it was in Nigerian airport, a lot of people just step on the flag and be going like, I said, we're not that bad.
We're not that bad.
But I only said that for sure, because deep down inside me, I'm like, it's very possible. Because a lot of people were not taught to respect that. When we grew up, we were taught to respect the flag.
Chief Onigo says, I see some buildings coming up in the marina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, like you said, you said you were taught
we were taught to respect the flag.
Now, children of these days are taught to celebrate.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe it's we, these middle people.
It's you people that spoil the life.
It was just a public holiday and that's it.
It's you people that spoil the life. And you spoil the life.
It would have been nice to have gotten the opportunities to celebrate it, but all through primary school, secondary school, I can't remember ever having anything like a cultural day. And the way schools go all out. My sister was just telling me this morning of my nephew that was told that he had to come in Igala Ashoke, and she had to be going everywhere.
That's the one I don't like.
Pictures of how it's supposed to look, and she had to be going. Who would make the dress and make the? I say what?
Stressing parents.
What happened?
So one of the reasons why I said we grew up celebrating or respecting the flag is because I was a member of the Cub Scouts, then eventually a member of the Boy Scouts of Nigeria. And the same thing happened with the Brownies and the Girl Scouts. Mm-hmm. And all those groups are virtually dead. They're just bringing them back now, slowly. Those were some of the ways that we got to learn, about Nigeria. And now the Boy Scouts is not even a Nigerian movement. It's a global movement. But because we would salute the flag at every meeting. We learned how to hoist the flag, how to fold it, and all of that as primary school kids.
Okay, so Chief Onikogo says, I'm still waiting for that 56-story building for First Bank in the Eco-Atlantic. We need that tallest building in Africa record that will boost your housing market like the Burgi. That should be Burj Khalifa did. Okay, Burj Khalifa did in Dubai. Yeah. Do we even need to boost anything? Because the way landlords are moving.
Some of our landlords are watching. So
see, Nigerian real estate is expensive. With or without.
Without a structure.
Without a structure.
But God bless the landlords that are not always increasing rent. God bless you, sir. I know you might be watching. We love you so much. You're a good man.
A good man.
Don't change, oh.
Keep it up.
Keep it up.
Keep it up.
But I love the idea of, us, moving away from the net building being the tallest building in Nigeria to, the UBA is bigger. Oh, no, it's a Union Bank. Whatever it is. All those buildings are old.
They're old buildings.
Cocoa House, they don't dust that one since. But it still stands tall, though, because there's nowhere in Ibadan. You're like, you know that.
Yeah.
Especially when you are inside Cocoa House and you're looking out the windows, you're like, wow, what a view. Very scenic. Let's have that at the Eco-Atlantic. It's going to be amazing. It
is going to be amazing.
It's the kind of thing that will really drive tourism.
Yeah, more tourism. Yeah. Anyway, still talking about October 1st, there is going to be, looks like people are planning protests. Some people had planned protests and they've said they weren't protesting again. However, former presidential candidates. Okay, before I go on with that, BT616 says they're not discussing your local funds. He's saying the inflow of foreign currency, no be Dubai money, build Dubai.
Yeah.
Now foreign you get. Yes, yeah. I get your point.
Yeah, fantastic.
Fantastic addition to that. So basically, Omayele Sowore is going about and saying that there's still going to be a no going back protest. October 1st in Abuja.
Chibi is indefinite, Abi.
Yeah, and other parts of the country as well.
Is that protest that he said would last until they get a regime change or something?
Protest is the new, what's it called now? Protesting is the new job now.
To be honest, make I no lie. Do people need to protest based on the way things are? Yes. But it's not the way these people are doing their own. You know that they always act like there's some kind of ulterior motive behind their protest planning and execution. But hey, they are alleging that rice is over 100K. And you know that rice is another currency in Nigeria. Rice is like currency. It's like, so that party.
Anyway, Sha,
how many bags? Now 4 bags. You already know that means you're inviting 1,000 people.
People just need to be pleased.
You get.
Yes.
So
people
things
need to
are
be careful,
crazy. The price of PMS is mad, which trickles down to the cost of other items and all of that.
Yes.
But still, the government has more work to do. Their focus should be on how to bring down, the cost of some of these items. That's what they should focus on.
Yeah. Anyway, people just please need to be careful out there tomorrow. If you're not sure for you, please. Thank God there's public holiday, at least for most people. Please stay in your house. God will bless you very much. Anyway, moving on from that, let's go on a bit of gist from Rivers State, as the court has now barred INEC from releasing the voters' register to Rivers Electoral Commission. So there's local government elections October 5th in Rivers State. Now, what the court is saying is that they did not follow due diligence as to there was supposed to be a 90-day announcement period and all that, according to Electoral Act, which they did not follow. So what the court is saying that INEC cannot release the most recent
excuse me.
They cannot release the voters register to them, and they should go ahead and use the 2023 voters register that was used for the presidential and the governorship.
General elections. Okay.
Isn't
Okay.
that the one that is... Okay, no.
Well, whatever it is, the thing about it is there were local government elections in Abia State a few hours ago. Who is the governor of Abia State? Anambra State. Anambra State. Who is the governor of Anambra State? Chukwuma Charles Soludo. Which party does he belong to? Apuga. Which party won virtually all the local government seats? Apuga. Who conducted the election? The State Electoral Commission.
However, I think that this one is now very funny because remember that there's the Wike angle to.
That's where I was going. Actually, I was trying to establish that the party in government usually wins. That's where I was going.
Yeah.
And what I was trying, that's why I used Anambra as an example. The other elections that were conducted in the PDP dominated, is it Nasarawa or so, was cleared by PDP. The other election 2 weeks ago, conducted in Kwara State, that is dominated by the APC, was cleared by the APC. So do you see the pattern? Do you see the system? So all of them that have, their governors in place still return their seats. But this is where it gets juicy. In Rivers State, I deliberately went round and I picked 3 different parties in 3 different states. Okay. But you see, in Rivers State,
Chief Odigogo says, Dolupo, wait, so the state INEC needs to borrow federal INEC voters list.
Apparently.
Who let federal conduct the election?
That's what we've been clamoring for. And that's why they're all rushing to conduct this, because they know that very soon a law will be passed that would outlaw the state electoral commissions and, of course, maybe create a central local government election commission or give the job to INEC to do. And I prefer the INEC angle of things.
Chifoni Koko, I agree totally. It doesn't make any sense.
So
if INEC is still going to provide all the things for you.
This is where it gets juicy. There were local government people in place when Wike left. Fubara came in and kicked them out. And I had these caretaker people. Now, the law says that's illegal. So those people resigned. And it is rumored that they all went to join another party, not even the PDP this time.
Okay.
So that party, I think their name starts with an A, is likely to clear all the local government elections. Likely if the state electoral commission is like other state electoral commissions. This is where it gets juicy.
But the election is...
This is where it gets juicy. Now, the PDP, which is the party of the governor, is not directly in the governor's hands anymore. It's not even about factions now. It's about the bulk of the PDP in Rivers State are directly under
to someone else.
A minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
FCT 001.
So from the look of things, if there is a free and fair election, can the men that the current governor is backing win?
Can they win?
And free and fair or not, can you rig out a popular party in a situation where they turn out en masse also?
Yeah.
How is it going to happen?
So it's going to be very interesting.
This weekend in Rivers State, stay tuned for an interest. I hope it doesn't turn out to be an anticlimax of sorts, but from the way I've been holding my breath for this.
We'll see where the drama is going to go. Quickly before we go, like you had said, APGA has won all the 21 local governments in Anambra local government polls. This happened over the weekend. Also, a lion had killed its handler at the Obasanjo Library Wildlife Park.
Yeah.
That story is still a little bit unclear to me about how apparently this is the person that feeds this lion and all that. And I think that there needs to be a bit more information about how that happened and why. But yes, it's actually confirmed. The man actually died. And quickly, before we go, I know you might not like this, but I would say it regardless. Lebanon Prime Minister is now calling for a ceasefire with Israel.
Dear Israel and Lebanon and co. I'm not in the studio. Dolupo is alone.
Yes, you are.
This is AI generated. I have nothing to say about Israel.
Oh, there are a few other conversations around this. However, yes, because
according to who?
According to the UN,
they're
saying about 100,000 people have had to flee Lebanon for Syria due to Israeli strikes. Iran is now coming out officially to say that they will not send forces to confront Israel. Okay.
What are they sending?
They are not saying anything.
I didn't ask any question.
Everybody's.
It's the
it's
the AI.
Looks like everybody is. They don't want to fight again.
I have nothing to say.
They don't want to fight.
How does your prime minister go to the World Council UNGA UNGA meeting? Meanwhile, you people are preparing. So
yeah. Anyway,
on to the next.
It's very, very counter. What's it called? Because Hezbollah talked about how they're going to continue hitting Israel. However,
they want to
keep hitting Israel
after they remove everybody in their hierarchy except one guy. The previous week it was blindness and amputation and castration that they were sending to them with electronic device.
Like, where do you people get the point that
I have nothing to say?
When people are not your mates, agree that somebody is not your mate. Agree and move on. But no, you want to form.
Once again, this segment was powered by Dolupo alone. This is not my real voice. I did not say anything about you people.
Yeah, right.
I didn't say anything.
Anyway, quickly before we go, France star Antoine Griezmann is retired from international football as well. PSG star is said Dembele is said to be left out of the squad that's going to face Arsenal because he seemed to have a clash with his coach.
Yeah, it's when they don't have anything to do that they'll be clashing with coach. If it's even somebody that is always there.
So Champions League is back again this week.
Yes.
Tomorrow there's going to be a lot of games as well. The new Champions League. RB Salzburg is going to be playing with Brest.
The best team in France
Stuttgart
is Brest.
Is going to play with Sparta Prague. Sorry. Arsenal is going to be playing with PSG. Barcelona is going to play with Young Boys. Like I said earlier, why is Young Boys so
after not doing well a few hours ago?
Bayer Leverkusen is going to play with AC Milan. That is another game, interesting game to look out for. Borussia Dortmund will play with Celtic. Inter will be playing with FK Zavena. PSV Eindhoven is going to play with Sporting CP, and Slovan Bratislava is going to be playing with Manchester City. So we're going to be seeing that a lot around. That's tomorrow, actually. They're going to be playing all that game tomorrow. So we'll be back again. I think on that note, that is all we'll be able to take today.
In Jesus' name.
On the bar.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Lord.
listening. What is it? What is it?
Is that country that you mentioned?
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys so much for the comments. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the BoomBar. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day ahead.
Peace.